I'd invite you to take your last hors d'oeuvre, and we have a very brief program followed by a tour of the facility. And the tour guides will be the very people that work here, the physicians, the nurses, and others that are part of the Coastal Community Cancer Center. We are just so pleased to celebrate with the community. The name Coastal Community Cancer Center reflects what this really is. It's a community asset. The asset does not belong to the hospital. It is a consortium of physician offices and a cancer resource center that's available free of charge for everybody in our community. We're excited about this because it does represent the first phase of the expansion and remodel and replacement of Community Memorial Hospital, which will take place in the next 3 years, beginning this year. I wanted to, first of all, recognize a number of people who took part in making this possible, and each of you has a program. Rather than mentioning all the names in interest of time, if you'd reflect on this, you're going to be introduced to many of these people today, but particularly I want to recognize the architects, the architects include Scott Boydston from Rasmussen over here. And Scott really was the design architect, and the architecture of the building is his brainchild. Joe Panushka. Joe, will you raise your hand? Also from Rasmussen Associates. Over here. Joe is more the logistic person inside the building. So if you love the inside, you thank Joe. If you love the outside, you thank Scott. If you love both, you thank Larry Rasmussen. Okay? Steve McGilvery built this building in a very, very tight time frame from beginning to end. It was on budget and on time. Steve is back here. Thank you to you and all the subcontractors. A great job. And while this was a complete team effort, I want to recognize Ron Polito, who was the quarterback of the team. Ron, where are you? Ron was at this project daily, and he was the glue, the mortar that made it all work, and we're so grateful. This cancer center represents a place where cancer survivors can come and receive the most expert and compassionate care. We have very gifted physicians, medical oncologists on the second floor. We have gifted radiation oncologists on the ground floor. Soon we'll have surgical oncologists join us, Mike Hogan and his team. And then the Cancer Resource Center, Dr. Orwin Grossman has a PET CT scanner, the most state-of-the-art equipment that's available, and we're just so very pleased with this. So thank you again. This is a community asset. We thank so much the community for your participation, the Midtown Council for your support, the City Council for swiftly approving this project and seeing the vision of it. I'd like now to introduce our Deputy Mayor, Mike Tracy, and he's going to say a few words, followed by Tom Fogel, one of the physicians, a radiation oncologist, and Tom's going to express what this really means from a clinical standpoint to the community. He'll be followed by Mustafa Abu Samra, a neurosurgeon who deals with cancer, but also is such a leader in our community. And we want you also, after the tour, to come back here at 7 o'clock, because this will also be the community kickoff of the American Cancer Society for the relay. So, Deputy Mayor Mike Tracy.
Thank you, Gary. I have to say I'm a little bit suspicious of a medical organization like this that gets all the people together and then serves them high cholesterol snacks and wine and sugary desserts, but there may be a motive to their madness, I'm not sure. Good evening. It's indeed my pleasure to be here tonight to represent the City of Ventura. Mayor Fulton is out of town, but he asked me to represent him here and asked me to say congratulations to all the people involved in this. So this is kind of like the adult version of Mayor for a Moment that we do every night. Community Memorial Hospital is obviously a very important institution in Ventura, both historically and economically. It's been a cornerstone of our community for over 100 years. This hospital is associated with major events in our lives. And that's what I think makes CMH such a special place in our community. In his State of the City address, Mayor Fulton noted that the medical and biotech fields comprise an important dimension of our community's future economic development and prosperity. The medical community has always been outstanding, and this community hospital has always been a leader in providing a high standard of care for all of our citizens. The City Council sees this cancer center and the $300 million expansion of the main hospital as critical to the continuing efforts not only to deliver top quality medical care to our citizens, but also as a catalyst to creating new businesses in the medical and biotech fields and to help reinvigorate our Midtown area, particularly the Five Points area. Hopefully creating more good-paying jobs that will translate into increased prosperity for our entire community. So on behalf of the whole City Council and the City of Ventura, I want to congratulate and thank the hospital board for making this huge investment in our community, Gary Wild and his fine staff for taking the lead and making it happen, Ventura Community Development Director Jeff Lambert and his staff for coordinating the approval, permitting, and inspection processes through the city, and everyone involved in the planning, design, and construction of this facility. In these difficult economic times, it's really inspiring to see this kind of a project come to fruition. And I want to assure you that your city council and city government recognizes the importance of this institution, and we're fully committed to working with the CMH board and staff to make the hospital expansion project a reality. Thanks again for having me here tonight and for giving me the opportunity to participate in this event.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Tom Fogel. I am one of the two radiation oncologists here in the Cancer Center. Before I continue, I just want to point out to everyone, if you haven't seen that video that's in the back corner over there, it's a time-lapse video of the construction of this building. I think it's astounding how fast they put that thing up. So just, you know, Ron, you did an amazing job organizing. It seemed like it took longer, I have to tell you. A little bit of history. The cancer treatment in western Ventura County started in the late 1960s when three physicians came to this community to provide cancer care. One was Dr. Ken Parsa, Dr. Kurus Parsa. I don't know if Ken is here right now. Is he here? He's out of town? All right. But his partners are here. The second was Dr. Robert Owendike. I don't know if Bob is here. I haven't seen him yet. And the third is Dr. John Hartman. John came down from Santa Barbara and built what I fondly referred to as our double-wide trailer on Cabrillo Drive. And in 1968 started practicing radiation therapy here. Since that time, he was the only radiation oncologist in Ventura County at that time. There are now 6 radiation centers in Ventura County, or 7 radiation centers in Ventura County, East and West End. And we have seen a tremendous growth, obviously, in cancer, which, needless to say, is one of those things where, while it's good for business, it's not necessarily something that anyone desires. About 15 years ago, Bob Owendike and I were sitting on the 8th floor at CMH talking to one of the administrators, and we were fantasizing about what we would like to see in our community. And we began talking about the concept of an integrated cancer center. Obviously, a lot has transpired over those 15 years, but through the vision of the current administration, especially Gary Wild, we were able to bring this fantasy to fruition. So what does this actually mean? Well, to people with cancer in the community, and I know there are a number of you here in the audience, it means an integrated, collaborative, combined effort to deliver state-of-the-art treatment to patients under one roof. And while that may sound like something relatively straightforward and simple, unless you're in that situation and you can experience that firsthand, I don't think you can appreciate how important it is to know that people are talking to each other when it comes to your health care. We're really blessed in this community. We have fabulous physicians and healthcare providers. We have a community which, where the physicians respect each other, where there's a tremendous amount of collaboration, where there's a constant ebb and flow of information back and forth, where we meet on a regular basis to discuss the management of patients, and in this day and age where we have each other's cell phone numbers. This facility exists for the community, and as Gary pointed out, we sit on the CMH campus and we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the vision and the investment and the confidence of the board of directors and the administration of CMH. But it's not just CMH patients who benefit from our facility. There are patients who come from all over the county. We work regularly and very collaboratively with our colleagues at Ventura County Medical Center, and hopefully some of them are here today as well. As you know, they've also been expanding and building patient facilities, and the medical oncology group at the county hospital are regular partners of ours in treating patients. In our facility, we're blessed with a real state-of-the-art center. I'm beside myself every time I walk in there, to be honest with you. I was half joking around, it almost makes you want to have cancer. Actually, I was joking around, I know. Several people have already slapped me for that one. I have a sense of humor, it's not necessarily appropriate. In our radiation center, I'm very fortunate to have Jeff Rodnick, Dr. Jeff Rodnick, as my partner. Jeff is probably hiding in the back over there. Jeff, raise your hand so everybody can see you. You know, if I get cancer, he's my doctor. It's that simple. We are very fortunate to have partners who are extraordinarily supportive of what we've been doing. And by what I mean as partners, our group is affiliated with a national radiation oncology management company known as OnCure Medical Corporation. And several of the members of OnCure are here, and I'm not going to embarrass them, Kathy Bowling, by naming them, Bill Pegler. But I don't know if Dwayne is here yet. Dwayne, the CEO, got stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere on a plane, so he's on his way. But it was a real labor of love, to say the least, to work out the organization and planning for this facility. And fortunately for us, and by us I mean our community, the staff at OnCure has a tremendous amount of national experience in developing cancer programs. And so they were able to advise and counsel us on how to create a facility that really meets the need of the communities. We are also very fortunate to have a fabulous medical oncology group, Ventura County Hematology Oncology, and I know that a number of the medical oncologists are here. I saw Kevin Chang and Chirag Delsanya and Lynn Kong. I don't know if Ann and Rosemary are here. I know Ken is out of town, but I know several of them I probably forgot to mention somebody. Kevin is here too. And I hope you all get to talk to and meet them as you tour the building. And as Gary already mentioned when he stole most of my talk, Erwin Grossman and his group have blessed us with a PET CT scanner right here in the facility. And while that might seem like something that's just another diagnostic machine, it's not, because that piece of equipment also serves as the major tool for us to plan the radiation treatments for patients. And his staff has been extraordinarily accommodating and wonderful to work with. And then we also are going to be very fortunate to have Mike Hogan and Roz Warner join us. Mike is the, I don't know, tri-county gynecologic oncologist. If you are unfortunate enough to have to see a specialist in women's cancer, he's the guy. And they provide service from Santa Maria all the way down through Oxnard, Camarillo, and into Thousand Oaks. And we're blessed to be able to have them right here in our building, again, being able to work with them. And last, but absolutely not least, is the Cancer Resource Center, which will be very soon, very shortly, completely overwhelmed by patients and family members. Because having on site the ability to refer patients for supportive care and for complementary care is going to be just an extraordinary asset for patients and their family. And Kathleen Horton, who's the, what do they call you, program manager, director of the Cancer Resource Center, is going to be, as I said, overwhelmed by the number of people who are coming in there. My wife, Ellen, is going to be helping set up the complementary care program. Many of you have probably never heard of things like Reiki, reflexology, and the variety of other relaxation techniques, including things like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. We're going to have things including nutritional counseling. We already have physical therapy on site, and a variety of different support groups. So now that I've overstayed my welcome, I would just like to encourage all of you to take the time to tour the facility. Please ask questions. Don't leave, no matter how much we ask you to go, until you've had all your questions answered. I know that speaking for Dr. Rodnick and myself, our staff are in there and they will show you how things work, why we're so excited with some of the new technology that we've had. We were very fortunate to have the Ventura County Star put in a very nice article yesterday about the center. And so on that note, I think I'm done. And is Mustafa around here?
Good evening, everyone. I think Tom admitted that his humor is somewhat questionable. I will have to agree. But let's face it, statistics are not favorable to me. I will have to assume that it's possible, in fact likely, that in my lifetime I will need the services of this beautiful cancer center. So I'm glad it's here, and I speak as a member of the community. We all share that fear that we might be touched with this terrible illness that has touched perhaps not each of us individually, but each of us know someone who has been affected by cancer. I will not speak as long as Tom. In fact, I think my allotted time is already over. And I don't want to take much of your tour time and your pleasure. But those of you who know me know that I like to talk, so you can kick me off here anytime. This is, Tom mentioned this is state of the art. It is. I don't want to mention that again, but it is a forward-thinking place. To have this center with all the resources and the Cancer Resource Center available in one place for our community is very forward-thinking. This is how we are thinking of medical care delivery in the future. It's a start of a beautiful project. Somebody mentioned the $300 million. All of you get your checkbooks out. We're going to build a state-of-the-art, as beautiful of a building south of the present hospital, and we'll get to that in a minute. This is not really the start of a new era of healthcare delivery. I want to say it's a continuation. I came to Ventura in 1980, joining a wonderful neurosurgical group, and I don't know if my partner Mel Cheatham is here, but he recruited me here, and I was very blessed to be part of the wonderful, wonderful team. He and his partners, and the physicians who preceded me in this community really laid the foundation for what we are experiencing today, and we are thankful for that. And the new, younger generation, I'm now the senior group. I don't feel as senior, but the younger group is ready. They're properly trained. They're eager to advance medicine and take over. What I really want to talk about is two things. One of them is the beauty of this place, because when you treat illnesses, cancer in particular, you need to be in an environment that is pleasant. And I think this is one thing. It gives you an example of what we're trying to accomplish. Look at the artwork around. When I leave my office late at night and drive around the building and I see all this art, it's really very refreshing to see that in Ventura. I will say that at least one of the artists is a cancer survivor. Now, that is a very, very important thing to know. We are making things happen. People are enjoying healthy lives after diagnosis of cancer. The second thing I want to mention is the cooperation that you feel in this community. And the cooperation is between the community at large, the hospital, the medical staff, and in particular one organization, and that is the American Cancer Society. There will be more about that at 7 o'clock. I invite you to all come back. We're going to do the kickoff for the Relay for Life at 7 o'clock, and we will talk more about that. But there's been this cooperative effort. I know several of the senior administrators of this hospital that served on the board of the American Cancer Society. I know at least 3 medical staff members, Tom Fogel, Doug Woodburn, myself, we're president of the Ventura County American Cancer Society, as it used to be called, and several other physicians served on the board. I think Lin Kong served, and many of us have. So there's been a very, very big cooperative effort, and I expect that to be even more apparent, more prevalent, more daily as we go further. So this is a great occasion. I'm very, very happy to be part of it. I know each one of you is happy to be part of it. You are all to be congratulated, and enjoy the festivities. Come back at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Mustafa. Again, we want to thank you for being here. I failed to recognize so many of our dignitaries. We have so many elected officials here from the city, from the county, the state, and even the federal government. Their representatives are here tonight. We want to thank you for being here and all that you do for our community, for our country. At this time, we invite you to go on a tour, but also we want to make sure all the builders and everybody who works and takes care of patients in this building, if you would meet Mike Ellingson right over here, there's going to be a ribbon cutting and also a picture. He's waving his hand right there. So those that work inside the building, please follow Mike, and everybody who's part of the design and building this, please do that. And dignitaries, you want to do that as well. Thank you.